Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Notes from the Swamp. Not the swamps of Dagobah, but the swamp that is our media, political, and cultural quagmire that we have to deal with every day. Now, one of the newest things that have come out recently is this domestic AIDS memo from the Clinton Healthcare Access Initiative. It's part of the Clinton Foundation. And what has happened is that, in essence, the Clintons were working with Big Pharma to keep AIDS drug prices up here in the United States, so they could work with generics or Big Pharma to distribute drugs cheaper around the world in poorer countries. Now, it seems like that should be okay, but it doesn't make any sense. You think, well, wait a minute. What, the Clintons are trying to help poor countries, and they can't afford it like we can. There is some truth to that, but Big Pharma doesn't need the Clinton Foundation to do this. They could easily distribute drugs to the developing world themselves and take the hit. They could start. They already have programs where they tightly monitor and control the distribution of drugs, like REMS, or programs that allows them to distribute to the less fortunate, like the Pfizer prescription assistance programs. The answer laid out in this email from WikiLeaks is that pharma companies relied on the Clintons and their pull in Washington to resist efforts to lower the cost of AIDS drugs in the United States, which is the world's most lucrative drug market. They enabled CHI, or as they call the Clinton Healthcare Access Initiative, to do and claim credit for running a massive AIDS drugs program. In exchange, they expect high drug prices in the United States. So the Clintons get positive press for running a large drug program. The pharmaceutical companies get a political machine to preserve their ability to fleece the American consumer. And the insurance companies mostly pay for the drugs. The American consumer doesn't really notice. And everyone else, even those without AIDS, just pay higher insurance premiums to offset this expense. And the costs are distributed through the population via the insurance industry. So the WikiLeaks email that I've looked at here is from two guys in different areas of the Clinton Foundation. You have this Ira Magaziner, who is part of, he's got a consultant, he's a CEO of a consultant called SJS Industries. And he's also part of the Clinton Healthcare Initiative. He kind of runs that thing. And he is working with the let's see, Amitabh Desai, MF fuck off, whatever his name is. And they start talking with each other. Different areas of the Clinton Foundation are talking to each other within these emails to try to decide how they're going to do this. So this note and attached memo responds to your inquiry as to whether CHI has any thoughts on how to proceed on the comments President Clinton made to lowering domestic AIDS drugs prices at the World's AIDS Day event. This was back in 2011 on December 8th. Attached is the detailed memo with recommendations on how CHI and President Clinton could be helpful in the domestic fight against AIDS. We have been working on this memo since the last CHI board meeting with this issue, when this issue first came up, and plan to send it to President Clinton and the CHI board in December for further discussion. We were taken by surprise by President Clinton's comments on World AIDS Day, and we wished that someone had consulted us before he made these comments. As you will see when you read this memo, we think publicly pressuring the U.S. and European AIDS drug companies to lower prices and bringing pressure to allow generic AIDS drugs in the United States will have limited, if any, success. How can that be? How can it have limited success? And it could seriously jeopardize our negotiations to continually lower prices in poor countries. Well, if they're just having to sell the drugs at the best price they can worldwide, like you sell an iPhone or anything else, you're going to sell it for the lowest price if you're competing. Why would it be a problem to sell it to lower the prices in the United States that would inhibit you from lowering prices and selling to other countries. Well, if you're the Clinton Foundation and you're negotiating all these things, you are keeping the AIDS drugs prices up in the United States so that Big Pharma can make the money. And in return, you look like the good guys for getting drugs cheaper to the poor people around the world. Quote, "We have always told the drug companies we would not pressure them and create a slippery slope where prices they negotiate with us for poor countries would inevitably lead to similar prices in rich countries." So, if you're rich, you can afford to pay it. Never mind that there's plenty of people in the United States who can't afford to pay it. And where Big Pharma has taken this to a new level. Does anybody remember Martin Shkreli? He was the guy who jacked up the price of the AIDS drug Starparum by 5,400%. To put that in real world terms, it went from $13.50 a tablet to $750 a tablet. And he did it to raise all kinds of money for himself and the other investors for financing. And he ended up getting arrested by the FBI in a securities probe. But when you have the government, when you have people as corrupt as the Clintons able to work these kinds of things, what do you expect is going to happen? Of course these things are going to happen. So there you go. The Clintons were the Clinton Foundation, the people on the left who are always screaming about Big Pharma. The Huffington Post, Big Pharma, they have pages and pages and pages of how bad it is. Justin Bieber condemns Big Pharma. Important health stories you might have missed. Innovation and regulation in pharmaceuticals. Monsanto is selling itself for $6 billion. Mylan is proof that big businesses pick America's pockets while government mostly looks away. Well, government doesn't just mostly look away. It actually works with them to fuck us. This is what is happening. Big Pharma's worst nightmare, The Guardian. Merchants of Meth, how Big Pharma keeps the cooks in business. Mother Jones, Big Pharma is America's new mafia. Look, you're supposed to be against Big Pharma, and your candidate is absolutely on the side of Big Pharma and is working with them to get them money so that she can look good. So again, I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying in the last 3 videos. People on the left, you are being used to keep them in power, to keep them playing the game. So this is it. This is Clinton's big deal. And you know what? You deserve every bit you get from her if she gets elected. Any of you remember Terry McAuliffe? Well, Terry McAuliffe has been a long time Clinton surrogate, generally a fundraiser. At one point, he and his staff raised $275 million for the Democrat Party for Clinton's causes while Bill Clinton was president. McAuliffe guaranteed the Clintons $1.53 million mortgage for their house, which raised a lot of ethical questions. In 2000, when the Clintons left the White House, he was elected chairman of the Democrat National Committee. Finally, in 2009, he was elected Virginia governor for reasons that I can't explain. And he's pretty crooked. How crooked? Well, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, a longtime Clinton confidant, helped steer $675,000 to the election campaign of the wife of an FBI official who was leading the probe on Hillary Clinton's use of a private email system. The Political Action Committee of McAuliffe, a big Clinton loyalist, gave $467,000 to the state Senate campaign of the wife of Andrew McCabe, who is now deputy director of the FBI. The report states that Jill McCabe received an additional $207,000 from the Virginia Democratic Party, which is heavily influenced by McAuliffe. Of course it is. He's the governor, or at least the former governor. He's still the governor, I believe. The money directed by McAuliffe began flowing 2 months after the FBI investigation into Clinton began in July of 2015. Around that time, the candidate's husband was promoted from running the Washington field office for the FBI to the number 3 position at the Bureau. I mean, how many more of these stories do you have to see before you realize the Clintons are nothing but a corrupt mafia, a political mafia, who will use whatever influence. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about your cause or what you believe in. They don't care. They will say whatever they have to say to get elected, and they will grab whatever money or whatever power they can to do whatever they want. They don't care about you. So there you go. There's the 2 big stories. I'll be doing another video on Project Veritas. And if you like this, please subscribe, like, check out my Twitter at YodaCon, and I'll keep making videos. And please, if you got anything you would like to add to this, just comment below. I'd like to hear what you think. Thanks a lot for watching.